G'day viewers, Peter here. How they hanging? So don't let anybody tell you there's always nice weather in Australia. Hang on, I'll just give you a bit of a. It's been pissing down all morning, so it's a cunt of a day. So yeah, it's I thought, well, I got time now. It's slowed down a bit, the rain, so I'll have a go because I'm at the vinegar strokes. Really, I got the thing together. And I just want to see if it's going to start, because you always know that feeling you get when you've pulled a motor apart and it starts for the first time or not. And this motor, it's a bit like my Datsun 1200 actually. It was given to me in pieces in boxes and crates, so I never saw how it went together initially. But because it's a little single cylinder two-stroke, it wasn't that complicated, and I've opened them up before. But this one was a little bit unusual because Victa often use, see there's a, down here, I don't know if you can see it, there's a 3/4 inch packer there, and then there's 3/8 on the other side. See on top of here, there's actually 1, 2, 3/8 packers. And on this side there's no packer, but there's a nut and a washer, and then these long washers, and obviously the petrol tank's got to go on here, which I haven't put on yet because I don't know if it's going to start. I've put the carby on, so just working out all the heights of these to get this flat so that I can put the petrol tank on. I'm not going to use the petrol tank. The other thing that I did, I put this pull starter on, and it pulled the first time, but then it just started skidding around and skating around. So I had to actually open it up, and I had to file. There's two little sprags, I suppose you call them, that spring out and grab the cup and then rotate it, and when you let go, it lets the motor run on. And I had to file them to get a sharp edge. And it's actually, I thought about it, because I haven't got any books or anything on this. I thought about it. The thing I love about these motors is they're so simple that you can actually see what's broke and work on them, which is what I loved about the carby the other day. I'll talk about that in a minute. But you got to file the end that you don't think it is. Because what happens is one end flicks out first and it rubs against the cup, and it's just a rubbing end, and then the other one, the spring pushes it around, and that's the one that grabs. You'd think it would be the first one that grabs, but it's actually the second one. So I filed that, and the pull start seems to work now. But I need a good pull start because this is a decompressor, which all Victas had after 1960 or something. And it was leaking. Normally, if you, can I do this? If you depress it and hold the end, if the diaphragm's not torn, that valve should stay down. But it didn't seem to. So I actually, Victa engineers in their wisdom, this thread is exactly the same as a spark plug. So I don't know if you can see in there. If you look inside, can you see there is a spark plug up in there where the decompressor, see how there's a bump here for the decompressor. I've put a spark plug in there, so it's got no decompressor, so it's a bit hard to, well, I haven't tried yet, it'll be a bit hard to pull over, but we'll see how it goes. So I've got some ether out, or start your bastard as we call it in Australia, and I haven't hooked up the petrol tank because I don't have I don't know if you're going to be able to see any of this. I'm just putting, whoop, that's full there. So if I depress this, and actually I'll show you while I'm here. This hole here, can you see that hole there? That is pretty much exactly the height. Remember that emulsion tube I showed you? Actually, I might give it a bit more. See how I've got this handle hooked up. I've just got this handle hooked up so that the slide will work. I'll put you in. I'll put you in the. Talking about this carby. Yeah, so that's how the carby works. Remember, I was telling you about this brass clamp down there that's forged brass, and it's nickel plated. I mean, Jesus, the nickel plating serves no purpose other than making it look nice, and it's all 5/16. You can pretty much work on this whole motor with one spanner. And that's a little 5/16 hex driver I used on that. So I hope it goes. I brought the I brought the stand out. So let's hope that it goes. And I can't really do this two-handed, well, one-handed. So all I'm doing is I'm putting some fuel in this black hose just to give it a little bit more volume. So I don't know how long it'll run just on the float bowl, but it'll probably run for a couple of minutes. There you go. I'll probably pull it that way. I brought a G clamp down. This is a backyard engineering sort of a setup. All right, so how hard is it going to be to pull over? Hopefully I won't need any start, you bastard. Shit, how's that? Fucking grouse. It started first pull. How's that, hey? I had to put a little blanking off piece here. And like I said, now I've got to work out. I looked for another decompressor valve and I haven't got one. And that sounds all right. I mean, you can't really tune it or anything. The carby's not quite straight, but that's a goer. That's a goer. So that's been out in garden art for a number of years, and I just pulled it and got it going, and it pulled first pull. And I had a Victa that I found on the side of it was given to me. And it would have been, was a Victa utility with little 6-inch wheels, and it was the same orange as this, because this is a 1970, so it was probably a 1975 model. And a Victa utility is very cheap, inexpensive, lightweight, commercial sort of mower. There's no catching, it just throws to the side. It doesn't even throw to the side really, it's just a flat disc, a pressed steel disc. And it weighs nothing, and it's just got simple painted handles, no chrome. And someone had taken the head off, and because it wouldn't go, which the same as this fellow did, there was no reason to take the head off, but anyway. And someone had taken the head off and left it off, and they'd stood the motor up vertically and rested the handles against the fence, so it was sitting up in this upright position with no cylinder head on, and left out in the weather and the rain, and it was for about 5 or 10 years, and the piston was at the bottom of the stroke, and the cylinder was full of dirt and mud and sand and rain and mould and moss growing in it. And I got that mower and I cleaned it out, and I scratched the bore up with some emery paper and got it running with WD-40. I got it sliding up and down, and I found a head in my shed and I put it on, and that mower ran, and it mowed my grass in Burke Road, Red Hill, for about 3 years. And that's just how indestructible and over-engineered. That's why I love these things. You know, unless the magneto goes, you know, you can fix these. This one's got points in it. If the points fail, I think you can buy them, but they're made in China, so I don't know how good they are. But I just put a little electronic module in it and bypass that altogether. And with an electronic ignition, it'd probably go better. But how's that? I put it together and it started first pull. Wasn't expecting that. Anyway, I'll say uru. Bye-bye.